Start on your back.
If your legs are stretched out in front of you, go ahead and bend one knee, then the other, setting the feet flat. Wiggle your feet far away from one another and drop the knees towards one another. Place your hands, palms down on your belly. Take in a breath for a count of 6. Exhale through the nose or through the mouth for a count of 6. And on your next exhale, let your hands fall away. Please draw your knees into your chest and give yourself a great big hug. We'll cross the right thigh over the left, and this is a little bit like pencil skirt style, so it's thigh over thigh rather than ankle over thigh. Just catch whatever you can catch, whether it's the top knee, whether it's your pants, whether it's the bottom knee. Gently draw it in, and if this whole configuration of the legs doesn't work for you, you can always set your bottom leg down, your left leg down, and just hug the top one, the right knee into your chest. So this mimics the shape of Gomukhasana on our backs. Gomukhasana is the cow face pose, and it's a really interesting hip opener. I wouldn't recommend pushing it, but just explore, just notice what shows up. You're going to keep this cross of the legs as you drop your knees over to the left. Open your right arm out to the right and take a simple twist here. One of the reasons many of us get tightness in the neck or around the tops of the shoulders is related in a way to the front shoulders being not very open. So if you can push your hand down into the ground, it will start to activate muscles on the back of your arm, which should then allow your nervous system to create more length in the muscles at the front of the shoulder. 2 more breaths right here. And then slowly draw your chin to center, draw your knees back to center, and switch sides. So, left thigh crosses over right, pencil skirt style, and you'll draw your knees in and catch whatever's comfortable. Just noticing an awareness of differences between the right side of the body and the left side of the body. I'm a big fan, as you will notice if you take my classes, of something called oscillation, which is this little rocking. So right now, if you were to look at me, you can see that I'm rocking a little side to side. Letting the shoulders be heavy, the back of the head be heavy, eyelids be heavy. And this little rocking, I think, reminds us of our time in the womb. There's something that is very calming to the nervous system about oscillation. Gently open your left arm out to the left. Let the knees drop over to the right. And it's not a contest to see who can get to the floor first at all. Just let them drop where they drop, hang where they hang. Left arm is reaching and it's pushing down into the floor so that you get this massive press down, this energetic abduction, horizontal abduction, so that the front of your shoulder can open. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. Alright, got the heater buzz on. On your next inhale, please bring your knees back to center. And unravel your legs. You're going to set your feet flat to either side of your yoga mat. And hands can be wherever is comfortable for you. I'm going to put mine behind the head. And just drop your knees to the right and to the left. A whole bunch. Next time you go over to the right, squeeze your left glutes, your left butt cheek, and try to lengthen through the left side of the body. Imagine there's a magnet on the front of your left knee, and it's just being dragged to the front of the room. I always feel like I'm yawning when I do this. Come back to center. Take your knees over to the other side and squeeze the right cheek. And lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Magnetize that front knee to the front of the room. Come back through center and draw your knees into your chest again, but this time separate them. Hands can hook behind the thighs, at the ankles, at your pants, or at the outer edges of your feet. Take a moment for happy baby pose. Little oscillation again, and slowly rocking the soles of your feet towards one another so that your legs form a diamond shape. Again, catch wherever you can catch. Rock a little side to side. Let's rock all the way over to one side and inside and come up to seated position. So this is a great place to grab your blanket. I'm going to take mine from the stored position and just give it an extra fold so it's folded in 3. Slide that right under the hips. And what we can talk about today, since the theme is pigeon and hips and shoulders, is we can talk about the difference between like an active stretch and a passive stretch. So this is the position I'm in right now is not a stretch. This is just a comfortable seat for me. But for many people, you're going to sit here and you'll feel a stretch either in your inner thighs or somewhere in the body. So think about wherever you feel a stretch in the body. So a moment ago, it might have been the front of your shoulders. And you want to activate the muscle opposite that. So let's bring the right hand over to the left front shoulder. And squeeze the left shoulder blade back onto your back. So it doesn't look like much, but the front should be lengthening, and you should be feeling a little bit of release, maybe a bit of stretch, but a super safe stretch because instead of just yanking on it, using the wall and just spinning, we're using our own muscles, and your body knows that's safe. And then change the angle a little bit, maybe bring the elbow a little higher. Just notice a different set of muscle fibers because a lot of the muscles in our body are very much like fans, or they have these really elaborate shapes, but we think of them like pulleys, and they're a little more complicated than that. They're a little more elegant and spread out. So we're going to get to all the different fibers of pecs, if pecs are tight. You can even go below 90 degrees. And one more. And to the other side. So find your way to about 90 degrees with your right arm. Squeeze it back. Make sure that the neck and shoulders are relaxed. This is what I call the Stevie Wonders. So you could do that with me. Squeeze back. And choose a slightly different angle. Typically you want to leave rest in one area, activate in one area for these 5 breaths. Choose some new angles here. I'm going to rephrase what I just said. So typically you want about 5 seconds at each spot, and if you want to linger longer, you can. Take both arms out. Let's add just a little bit of a back bend, maybe hands to the back of the head. And then back to center. Good. Set your left foot flat in front of you. Bring the left hand to the outside of that knee and just push the knee into the hand. And then inhale. Walk your right arm out. Take a nice little side bend over here. And rise up. Left elbow goes to the inside of the left knee. So we came from this position, rise up, left elbow to the inside of the right knee. And you're going to push the knee into the hand into the knee. So it's that same shoulder blade activation we had a moment ago. But this time start to turn to your right. You can add a yoga mudra if you'd like, the first finger and thumb coming together. Please come back to center. Switch sides. Left foot tucks in, right foot rests down on the ground. And the first thing we'll do is activate the muscles on the outside of the right hip. So push the knee into the hand. And please walk your left hand out. Right arm reaches up, go for the side bend. Inhale, rise, please. And bring your elbow to the inside of the knee. You're going to push the arm into the leg, leg into the arm, and start to turn. This kind of active pressing will not only open the front of your shoulder, but will build strength through the range of your twist. And back to center. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let's just notice how close the knees get to the floor. Bring your hands to the inner thighs and push up. So you're pushing your knees into your hands, creating a powerful conversation, a match between the two. And then relax and let it open up perhaps a little bit more. Scoop your hands under the knees. And you can't really see this, but I'm only using the fingertips, the pads of the fingers that are underneath. I'm not really using the heel of the hand, it's just resting there. So I'm going to push my knees down into my hands, lift the chest, and then keep that powerful length, that powerful strength as I exhale forward. Okay, now at some point you kind of have to let go. So do let go, lower your head down to the ground. Slowly rise back onto hands and knees. You can use your blanket under your knees if you'd like. Spread your fingers wide. And just start to move through a few rounds of cat and cow. So inhale, belly down, chest forward. And exhale, scoop and round towards the sky. And one of the really powerful things you can do whenever your hands are on the ground is pay attention to the other muscles that stabilize your shoulder blade. So they're not all on the inside and the underside of the shoulder blades. Some are in the front of the shoulder blade, kind of holding down to the rib cage. So if you are rounding up into your cat position, you can really, really push here.
Focusing on that upper body work could also help to normalize any neck or shoulder tension, getting it back to a nice neutral alignment. And then find neutral. Reach your left leg behind you with the toes on the ground, so that first you just get this gorgeous calf stretch. Sink your heel down and press that back foot strongly into the ground. Lift your right foot so that the knee is down. And you're just going to spin and spin, spin and spin. This is where the blanket really does come in handy. As a little bit of cushion. Yeah, you can use a towel. And then keep the foot open to the side. Right toenails down to the ground, left arm up to the sky, and up and over. So the more you reach, the more length you get in your side body. The more you reach, the more opportunity to relax around the neck, around the arm, and then maybe play with lifting your back foot up off the floor. So nice balance, stabilizing, using the muscles of both outer hips. And slowly lower your hands, lower your left knee, repivot on your right knee so that all the feet are together, and take a few rounds of cat and cow. When you're ready, reach your right leg back, all the toes are curled under, press back through the heel, activate and lift your kneecap towards the sky. Please take your back heel down to the floor, turn your toes out, and we're going to pivot on the left knee. So you're going to bring the foot off the edge of the yoga mat and back on. And off the edge, and back on. And on. Off. And on. And then get the foot all the way off and lean over into this gate pose type of shape. Right arm reaches towards the sky, and then by your ear. Beautiful arc with the body. Your left outer hip's working pretty hard. Your right inner thigh is probably working pretty hard right now. Lots of length being created in the side body, and if you want, you can float your right foot up. Activate the right outer hip as well. So use that left leg, the left glute for some balance. And then exhale, lower the foot. And lower the knee. Curl all of your toes under. I cannot stress the importance of good toe mobility for long-term health. So definitely keep working on your toe mobility if this is something that, where you notice tightness, it's worth it. You can either sit back into a child's pose, or you can walk your hands back and get a little bit more weight into your hips, into your heels. Take 2 breaths wherever you are. Take a nice big natural breath in. Rise up and walk the hands a little bit forward. Curl toes, downward facing dog. Please set the blanket off the side of your yoga mat. And then walk your feet towards one another. You're going to cross your right thigh over the left. Left thigh over the right. This is what I call the tango dancing. Right thigh over the left. If you're already feeling stuck on your yoga mat because we're walking towards the front of the mat, here's what you can do. You can put your two blocks under your hands, and that will buy you a little extra space. If you know for a fact your hamstrings are definitely on the tight side, you can put the blocks in the middle. If you're kind of in the medium tight side, you can put them on the low. So that will give you the extra space that will be required. Let the slow motion walk to the front of your yoga mat. I love it. I love when my students are so much slower than me. Inhale, halfway up, fingers to shins. Draw the abdomen in, lean forward a little bit. And then exhale and fold it down. And please allow your knees to deeply bend. Shake out the head. Grab hold of your blocks and please step your right foot to the very back of the yoga mat. Bend, or rather point and flex your foot like a gas pedal. And then sink your back heel down to the floor, the way we did a moment ago for gate pose. Bring your block to the outside of your left knee. Right hand to the hip. Just start to open up towards the sky. Exhale. Grab hold of your second block again. Step your back foot in just a little bit. And you can switch the height of the blocks if you'd like. Just face off to the front of the mat. Left hip pulls back, right hip forward. Crown of the head forward. And begin to fold. Inhale, look forward. Walk your blocks forward. Step your back foot to the front. Rise up halfway. So fingers to shins, or fingers can stay on the blocks. As you exhale, bend your knees deeply and let your head go heavy. We're going to do something funky with the forward fold here. So I'll turn so you guys can see. Toes are going to turn out, and your knees are going to bend like a ballerina. And I just want you to let your head hang heavy here. You can hold on to your ankles if that works for you. So this is, in a way, kind of like echoing a stretched out version of what we did before when we were seated and the crown of the head was moving towards the feet. It's that same, similar Baddha Konasana, but in standing. Inhale, rise up, bring the feet back together. And then step your left foot to the very back of your yoga mat. Set yourself up for a plain lunge, back foot gas pedaling. Dropping through the hips. Eventually sink your back leg, your left leg down to the ground. Bring the block to the outside of the right ankle. Push your knee into your arm, left hand to your hip here, and just look up towards the ceiling. You're welcome to take your top arm towards the ceiling, by your ear, or keep it on the hip. I want to emphasize the knee pushing into the arm here, to really make that action strong. Lean down, catch your other block, take your two blocks to the tall position, just behind the line of the ankle. And we'll step your back foot in, toes point more or less forward, a little out to the side, but mostly forward. Chest, everything looks forward, full breath. Exhale and fold.
Lean in, please. Set your blocks down and keep your blocks in the medium height this time for downward facing dog. Walk your feet wide to the sides of your yoga mat and make your down dog just a little shorter. This is one of the kinds of active twists that I really like, and I'll explain why. If you can get to a place here where your heels are on the ground, and feel free to use your blanket to make that happen, you can walk your blocks towards one another. Make sure your hand's on the back half of the block. Left hand stays on the block, right arm reaches over to the outer left leg somewhere, whether it's the shin or the thigh or the ankle, doesn't matter. And just start to twist. So this is a twist in which you're pushing the ground away. And the muscles around the spine are actually helping with it a bit, so is the arm. But you're getting that same scapular retraction on the right side. Switch sides. Right hand to the block. Left arm to the outer right leg somewhere, somehow. Push the ground away, spin, spin, spin. And release. Lower your knees down. Bring the soles of the feet together. And just set your blocks completely to the side for a moment. You can grab your blanket. If you still have it in the folded position, you can then re-slide one or more blocks underneath to fold forward and rest your head. Let your knees go a little bit out to the sides. I'll take 3 breaths with one cheek on the mat, and then 3 breaths to the other side. Switch cheeks. And then rise up. Let's move the blanket. Set the block off to the side for just a moment. We're going to play a little bit more with toe mobility, and then we're going to get into the hips. So walk your hands forward, curl your toes under, but your knees are still really wide apart. And you're going to sit back, walk the hands back. Let me say that I realize not everybody, let me turn this way so you guys can see, not everybody is going to be at all comfortable with this shape. But if you can separate your knees and then start to bring your body weight into your toes. And then maybe even start to balance a little bit. It's a pretty fun double dog dare. Your blocks are here to help you stay balanced. And you can always keep your knees down. This is no less intense. It's just less muscular action on the ankle. And you can also keep yourself with your weight mostly forward. That will get less weight through the toes, so it won't be quite as intense. Okay, 2 more steady breaths wherever you are. This is our toe stand. Let's release. Settle your knees. Grab hold of your blanket. Place it. Actually, you're going to want to use the floor. I almost said the wall. You're going to want to use the floor to the side of your yoga mat or to the front of your yoga mat. So something where the blanket can slide. Mm-hmm. So where will I be? I think I'll be right here. I'm going to drag my yoga mat back so this all gets on that camera. So you will have your blocks and your blanket. But you're going to have to set your blanket up kind of like a little smaller than it was a moment ago. So I just folded mine something like the stored position. And then I'm going to have the blocks in the medium height. But I'm going to take them away for just a moment, set them to the side so you guys can see what I'm doing. Walk to the front of your mat on all fours. right knee is going to get onto the blanket, and then you're going to slide out and in a few times. So this will help to warm up the hip and prepare it for pigeon, and also to prepare it to not be just a completely hanging passive shape. It's a really gentle move. If you have your back knee down, it's not that much body weight in your front leg. You can also cushion your back knee, folding your yoga mat. And then when you're ready, slide your leg out. Feel free to use one of your blocks to prop underneath of you. And lift your chest. I like to teach pigeon, by the way, with the foot pretty close in to the pelvis, the front foot close to the pelvis. There are styles of yoga that teach it with the shin at 90 degrees, but I find that to just be really hard on the knees, on the ligaments around the knees. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Draw the chin back. Drive your knees down. If you'd like to go hands-free, this is a great practice to build hip strength. And then release. Come back to hands and knees. We'll take it to the other side. The left leg slides, draws in, slides, draws in. And do this as many times as you want. And when you're ready, settle yourself down. Get some cushion for your back knee. Pull the two legs together so that the weight's not entirely in your arms. It's not entirely sinking. You can, of course, slide your block under your hip for support, but make sure that even if you do that, that you're not just clunking into the block. So there's an action, there's an energy, and maybe go hands-free. So pulling the front leg towards the back leg. Squeeze your shoulders back. Let's come back. Cross at your shins. Pull your props back in. Roll up your blanket here into a nice tight roll. And set it to the side. So we're going to lower your back down onto our backs. And this time, cross right ankle over the left knee. You can have your left hand behind the left thigh, the right hand to the outside of the right knee. So with the right hand to the outside of the right knee, I want you to push your knee into your hand. And then get a nice little arm wrestle happening between the legs and the arms. So everything's kind of pushing, creating this vibrant circle of muscular engagement. And my guess is that you probably feel a little deeper than you might have felt in the beginning of class here, but we're engaging our muscles in this angle, in this new angle, rather than passively dragging it in. Let's release and switch sides. Left ankle over the right knee, right hand to the back of the thigh, left hand to the outer left knee, and I'm pushing the right knee into the right thigh into the hand. I'm pushing the left knee open so that glutes and external rotators, shoulders, everything are active. See if you can keep the neck relaxed, the jaw relaxed, the eyes relaxed. Release this supine pigeon. Settle your feet to the edges of your yoga mat and just let your knees drop side to side. Back to center. Grab hold of your roll, your blanket roll, slide it under your knees, and then just lift yourself up into a nice neutral bridge. Settle down, straight line, and kick out your legs for Shavasana. You can take a whole number of different shapes for Shavasana, but a simple one to give yourself that feeling of increased groundedness is to take your hands to your belly, palms down.
Let the mind slow down. Take the next few moments, or as long as you need, to settle in to your Shavasana.